What's this? Square Enix releasing games that don't involve the words final or fantasy?
Nothing makes sense anymore! Frog?
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it either. From the revival of the Mana series, to the upcoming Front Mission and Ogre Tactic remakes, Square has been on a roll with us playing many of their games from their lesser-known franchises.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's right, I tell bad jokes, and I know you love it. For real though, it's cool seeing them pull from their massive library of games. I'm still waiting for a remake of Brave Fencer Musashi or Threads of Fate. Come on, Square. One game that did get a remake was that of the Super Famicom cult classic Live Alive, or Live Alive. I've heard it both ways, so I'm not really sure how to say it, for the Nintendo Switch. Its announcement gained a lot of praise from the retro community, so I wanted to give the original game a try and see what the fuss was all about. Hey there, this is Mega Blade J, and here is my review of the Super Famicom version of Live Alive, or Live Alive. Screw it, I'm gonna call it Live Alive. Live Alive is a turn-based JRPG. It was made and published by Square on the Super Famicom back in 1994. Live Alive's story was very unique for its time. In it, we follow 7 playable characters, each with their own separate stories and goals, spanning several time periods and settings. These include a cowboy in the Wild West, protecting a town from bandits, a robot in the far future solving a murder mystery, and a young caveman just trying to get laid. Each story is entertaining and makes me wish they could be branched out into their own separate RPGs. I mean, why aren't there more Wild West or space RPGs? That'd be awesome. While I do wish each chapter tied into each other, after you beat all 7 chapters, a final 8th one opens up, bringing all the characters together for an epic final battle and wrapping the story up nicely. While most chapters are pretty straightforward RPG fare, they can employ some unique gameplay mechanics. A good example would be the Cowboy and Ninja chapters. In the Ninja chapter, you have the option of killing every enemy that crosses your path, or being stealthy and avoiding fights altogether. Or in the Cowboy chapter, you have the option to set traps around a town to thin out the final boss's lackeys, making the fight way easier. Or you could skip the traps and take on the gang at full force. While these don't impact the plot in the long run, having a choice in how you progress was pretty neat for the time and added some replay value. Exploration is encouraged, as going off the beaten path will result in powerful loot, armor, and other secrets. Trust me on this, use a guide. I'm looking at you, Regular Stone. Other unique features include the ability to save the game at any time and auto-healing after battle. This eliminates the needs for shops and save points, which greatly increase the speed of the game. Like its story, combat is also unique for its time, with fights taking place on a grid of squares. Each character can move along the squares and attack with either physical or special attacks. It kinda reminds me of a mixture of Final Fantasy VI active battle system and the movement of a Fire Emblem game. Your special attacks need no MP, but have a certain range from where they can hit. Some are close range, others can hit from across the screen, some are diagonal or horizontal. and others can even draw the enemy closer or push them away. As your character levels up, they will learn new attacks, so it's very important to experiment and know what range they have. The music is fantastic and sounds great on the SNES. The soundtrack ranges from old Western themes, primitive drums, and futuristic techno. And don't get me started on that bombastic boss music. The soundtrack was composed by Yoko Shimomura. Once again, sorry about that. I'm not very good at speaking Japanese names. And was her first major job at Square. Later on, she did the music for the Kingdom Hearts series, Mario and Luigi, and many, many more. She came back to do the music in the Switch remake as well. The remixes stay true to the source material and make a already amazing soundtrack even better. The graphics and presentation are great and offer a lot of variety. The worlds of each chapter are well detailed and visually distinct from each other. One chapter, you're in a futuristic city fighting street thugs. Next, you're in ancient China training on mountaintops. Each chapter was unique, and I was excited to see where I was going next. The real highlights of the graphics are the enemy and boss sprites. They are large, colorful, and super detailed. I do wish they had some more animation during attacks, but they're still impressive for the SNES. Now, while the way this game tells its story is pretty unique, it has some downsides. Instead of one giant epic game, it felt like the developers had like a few smaller projects that they didn't think would get greenlit, so they stuck them together to make one game. Yeah, I'm not sure of the game's actual development history. This is just my opinion. Also, each chapter, on average, only lasts about 1 to 3 hours. Some may see the short length as a negative, but with the variety of playstyles, I felt they were just the right length to not overstay their welcome and keep the game feeling fresh. The original SNES version was never released outside Japan. There is, however, an English fan translation online. Surprisingly, Square Enix and Nintendo recently made an official English remake for the Switch that did come out west. Always support the official releases. The remake seems to be the same game, but remixed music, HD 2D graphics, and some quality of life improvements. So this review should work for that one too. If you want to own the original SNES version, the price varies. I've seen it from $20 cart only to almost $200 for a box version. Overall, I greatly enjoyed Live a Live. It had a fun, grid-based battle system. It lasted about 16 to 20 hours, had absolutely amazing music, and had multiple playable characters with different gameplay styles and stories. If you're a fan of old school JRPGs or looking for a unique game for your SNES or Switch, I highly recommend giving this a go. Thanks for watching. This has been Megablade J. If you enjoyed the review, please leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more playthroughs, reviews, and more of my poor attempts to entertain you all. Thank you, and see you all next mission. Bye.